Hi, Ross with Beer Disciples here, and we're going to be reviewing a beer from 21st Amendment today called Bitter American. And it says here it's a seasonal release. Normally it comes out, I believe it's January through April, and it's kind of the end of the winter beers, a transition into the next set of beers. Now this one has a picture, as you can see on the can, of the first chimpanzee sent out into outer space, which is funny, kind of ironic. His name is Ham. Anyway, so it's Bitter American. Of course, you'd be bitter too if you couldn't speak and they shoved you in the first rocket to see if you would explode. Anyway, this beer is from 21st Amendment. They're out of San Francisco, California. And they do a pretty good job. I've enjoyed a lot of their beers. This is called an extra pale ale. It says session ale. Now, if you don't know what session ale is, basically it just means it comes from the concept. Well, the hypothesis is that it comes from the concept of in World War I, where they allowed workers to have beer breaks, essentially, which sounds great. Many of you guys may be doing that on your own without the boss knowing. Anyway, they used to allow it, but you couldn't get drunk, and so they had these session ales, which were lower in alcohol. And so what you'll see is this is an American pale ale, so it's an APA style, but normally the range for that is between 4 and 7% ABV. This is at 4.4, so it's at the low end of the scale. That's where we get this concept of this session ale. So what they're trying to do here is make a beer that's full of flavor and has all this stuff, but that's lower in alcohol, so that you can enjoy it. Say you're at a party and you want to just have a couple of them without being plowed. Maybe you're at a work party and you don't want to make an idiot of yourself. Then this might be, you don't want to look like this monkey in the spacesuit to your boss. Then this might be a good choice for you. So, anyway, let's take a look at this now. The style American Pale Ale normally is going to have a balance between malt and hops. It's defined by the American hops, and so what that means is that basically American hops are going to tend to give a little bit more bitterness and a little more aroma. So they chose this style of beer here for this. Normally you're supposed to put this in, say, a lager glass or shaker. So I got my Sam Adams 25th anniversary glass that I enjoy there. Now let's take a look at this. Ratings on this so far. So you have a 92 overall on rate beer, and a 95 for the style. And what's unique about that is normally that's kind of weird, because usually you'll get the style is lower and then the overall will be higher, which means that the beer maybe is a little out of balance, not in a bad way, but compared to the standard style, but people like it for what it is. And in this case, you have an opposite thing where it's got a higher version or number in the style than the overall. And I believe that's because typically what that tells me is that people prefer other styles. So overall, out of all the other beer choices they have, this may not be their style of beer, but in its own style, it did well as a 95. Now, Beer Advocate has this at a B+ out of 131 reviews. And Greg's Beer Review on YouTube has reviewed this, and they gave it an A-. And Beer Geek Nation had a really good review on this, and gave it an A- also. So a little shout out to the other beer reviewers out there. Anyway, so we're looking at 42 IBUs on this, so that's not too high. 4.4 ABV alcohol content, so it's going to be lower in there. They describe this on the website, on 21st Amendment's website, as an American session beer loaded with hop character and a malty presence, but still low in alcohol. And so the key thing when rating it is I'll do two ratings, basically, one based on what they're trying to do and what I think of how they hit the mark or not, and then how I feel overall compared to my tastes. I'm an imperial stout drinker, so a lot of times, the pales, they're too, or even some IPAs, they're not big enough for me. But anyway, let's take a look at this. Let's get the pour on here. We're going to go, I like to go right down the barrel here. so I get a little more action because I want to see some of the qualities that come out in here. I can already see there's a little bit of sediment there. You either got a dirty glass or they're throwing something special in. Hickory. It's probably a dirty glass. Anyway, you got a good honey amber color on there, decent head, carbonation looks pretty good. Some pretty nice lacing there, it's a little sticky lacing, so looks pretty good. Wow, I haven't even got it up to the old nostrich, and I can tell you right now, that's got a nice smell. I usually don't like a lot of hop profiles, the way they smell. I like a nice balance, not weak. Don't be confused with that. I'm not weak, but in balance. I like when it feels like they've done a good job, and this is pretty impressive right now. What a hop profile. I'm getting the citrus, a smidge of the pine. It's just some sweetness. Boy, that's impressive. Out of on a 1 to 10. I know I was doing 1 to 5 before. I thought maybe I'll bump it to 1 to 10. 5 being kind of average. I'm going to give this on the nose definitely a 9. This is pretty impressive on appearance. I'm going to give it an 8. I'd like, for what it is, it's not going to be that big, so I can't dock it too much. It looks actually pretty impressive for that, so I could go 8, 8.5. Let's check out the taste here. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Wonderful balance. It's got this weird thing going on where it is that lightness, but still kind of a good sized body, but not a sweet malt body. And some of that's, they use Simpson Golden Promise malt in this that comes from the UK, and it basically gives complexity without sweetness. So that's an interesting profile, and that's definitely what they did in here. You also have 2 row pale, Munich and Crystal malts in this. And then your hops are Warrior and Cascade. And then the dry hops, Simcoe and Centennial. Now, I can taste all those things going on in here, and I think they did a great job in what they did. As a matter of fact, if you look at what they're trying to do, I think they did an incredible job here. Is this going to, blow away, and Southern Tier Unearthly or, or an Arrogant Bastard or anything like that? No, I mean, this isn't this big hop monstrosity here. That's not what they're trying to be, but what they did is they packed in a wonderful balance of flavor and hop profile for those who want it, yet a light drinkable beer that you can enjoy 2 or 3 of these, and just the mouthfeel is medium body, and yet it's almost refreshing. Probably the Simpsons malt there, kind of clean and yet great hop profile, very well balanced. This is really tasty. So to give you an idea on what this style of beer is as far as what you can get, what are the top rated ones? Rate Beer has their number 1 for this style APA is Alpha King 3 Floyds. From 3 Floyds, and Hoppy Birthday is Beer Advocates on Alpine Beer Company. I haven't had either of those, and I don't know if they're available in this area, but what I try and do is look at the top rated beers for the category of beer that we're looking at, and then also let you know what are the top ones that you could find. Is there some in the top 10 that you could get around this area, being in eastern Washington. And for our area, the top ones would be Dale on Rate Beer for this style is Dale's Pale Ale at number 5, Fresh Hop Ale from Great Divide, and at number 8, and Lagunitas Correction Ale, which I haven't seen really around, but that's at number 10. And then Beer Advocate has, for ones you can get in this area, Hop Trip from Deschutes at number 9, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale at number 10, and then Fresh Hop Pale Ale also from the other list at Great Divide is number 11. So those are some you can go out and check if you like this style and you want to compare. I'll tell you right now, overall for me, I'm going to agree with Greg's Beer Reviews and Gearbeak. There's not that much alcohol. How can I be saying things wrong? A Beer Geek Nation. I'm going to agree with both of them in saying that this is an A- for the style. Number-wise, I would go with a 97. I think they really hit the mark. And I haven't had some of these other ones to compare it to, so but that's how I feel. And then overall, for my personal style, the overall rating I would give this beer would be on the letter scale. I would say it's probably a B plus, and I would say on the numbers for my overall. For what it is, I would give this, probably a 90, between 87 and the 90. I'm more into stouts, but I will buy this again, and it is impressive for what it is for a session. If I'm looking for a session beer, something I can just drink and kick back, this is a great choice. Good job, 21st Amendment. You did it again. Now, check us out online. Go to Facebook. Join us on there. We've got tons of stuff we put on there and information. Join the conversation on Beer Disciples on Facebook. You can also leave some comments below. Let us know what you think of our reviews. Let us know what you think of this beer, if you've drank it before, and if you've got some suggestions, let us know. If you're in the Spokane, Washington area and you want to be a guest on the show, or you want us to review a beer with or without you, we'll do it. Give us the beer, we'll do it without you. We'd be happy to have you. Let us know. You can email us at thebeerdisciples@gmail.com. Anyway, I'm going to say this is a righteous beer choice, and feel free to pick it up. You can find it around town. Until next time, I'll say cheers.